And you're welcome to What the Papers Are Saying. Thank you so much for making time to join us for another edition. I'm Vivian Lokko. We'll look at the big stories that made headlines for the week. When we come back, I'll take you through those stories and then we'll start our conversation. Do stay with us. So welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. What stories made headlines? We'll start with the one to do with the mayor of Kumasi, who made some statements over how he intends to deal with hawkers on the streets of Kumasi. So we'll go to Daily Guide and see how they capture that story. They say, we will flog street traders, kill stray cattle for meat, Kumasi mayor. Channel1news.com. Sherlock slams Kumasi mayor over decongestion threats. We'll move away from that story and go to Global Info Analytics on the Chief Justice's removal. Let's see how that story has been captured. Channel 1 newsroom says 52% of Ghanaians support removal of CJ. That's a report, of course, a research coming from Global Info Analytics. Away from that, another story that made headlines this week has to do with the increase in utility prices. Let's see how that was captured. The Informer says utility tariffs shoot up in May. Away from that, we'll take you to Bawku because it also made headlines this week with the IGP and some key persons visiting that town. Let's see how that story was captured by the various media outlets. Let's take you to the Ghanaian publisher. They say Otumfuo resumes Bawku conflict mediation. Still on that story, Channel 1 News. Bawku IGP's job promise risks emboldening violence must be retracted. This is Ibrahim Ejay speaking. We'll move away from that. We'll go to another story that made headlines having to do with the MPP setting up a committee to look at their constitution. Let's see how that story was captured. Let me take you to citynewsroom.com. They say Professor Okwe's report, NPP sets up 9-member committee to review constitution. So those are some of the top stories for the week. When I come back, I'll introduce my guest and we'll start our conversation. Stay with us.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink at a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
This year, take the first step towards a deeper connection with God and one another. Join us for the Family Consecration Service, a powerful journey of faith, love, and renewal. In 2025, we are called to consecrate our homes, our hearts, and our lives.
The Lord is protecting you with His favor this morning in the name of Jesus. May the Lord favor your going out. May the Lord favor your coming in.
To dedicate ourselves and our families to the path of faith, grace, and unity. Through prayer and reflection and a shared devotion, the Family Consecration Service 2025 brings families closer together, strengthens bonds, and invites God's presence into every corner of our homes. It's on Thursday, 1st of May 2025 from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. The venue is the Oil Dome, Royal House Chapel International, Accra. There will be renewal of vows for married couples.
On this occasion, I'm asking you to forgive me for all the hits and pain I have caused you.
Join countless families around the world as we come together to consecrate our lives in the spirit of love and faith. A consecration for today and for generations to come. Make this year a new beginning. Family Consecration Service 2025 for the love of God and the love of family. Join us this year. Together, let's consecrate our families and our hearts.
So welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. I'm Vivian Lokko. Thank you so much for staying. Let me introduce my guest for today's show. We have Samuel Atamensa here with us at Channel 1 TV as well as City 97.3 FM. Welcome.
Thank you.
And then I also have Selom Adono also here with us at Channel 1 TV as well as City 97.3 FM. Selom, welcome.
Vivian, thank you.
Right. So, gentlemen, we'll start with one of the big ones for the week, having to do with the new mayor of Kumasi, who has been making some statements. Before we go into the discussions, I'll just give you a quick clip on what he's been saying on one, how he intends to deal with hawkers on the streets of Kumasi, as well as stray animals.
Situation whereby we'll put in place a police team, we'll go arrest people, and then they go to the police station, they find their own means and they are back on the street. That would be a waste of time and resources for me. So I have my own democratic military style, which I'll be implementing. When we say leave this space, and you don't leave this space, and I get there, I am not lucky, and my boys are with me, there and then, we'll beat you.
So there's another one to do with stray animals as well. We'll take that quickly, and then we'll seek the thoughts of the two gentlemen in the studio.
We'll beat you.
So there's another one to do with stray animals as well. We'll take of
the vicinity. That's not my. The rest. 1st of May, those cattle will be killed and be given to the Kumasi Central Prison for feeding.
So that's the mayor of Kumasi, Richard Ofori Ajiman-Boidi, speaking on how he intends to deal with hawkers. Subsequently, he's come to say that the hawkers have agreed to work with him and they will move from the places that they are not supposed to be. But the question comes around how he intends to deal with things and his initial comments, whether it's youthful exuberance or the way to go in dealing with such a very, a difficult one of removing hawkers from our streets.
Interesting, Vivian. I think, metropolitan areas have a number of problems. Filth is one of them. The indiscipline of hawkers is one, and the phenomenon we're beginning to see, I don't even know if we are beginning to see it or it's just exacerbating, having stray animals, cattle especially, as huge as they are, sharing the streets and the roads with you. These are key issues a lot of cities in Ghana have, Accra and Kumasi. And Kumasi is a very important city for many things, the tradition, the custom, the way the people are, the way they are exuberant, etc.
Yeah.
So perhaps you need a certain level of hardness to succeed as mayor. I don't know. But I think this gentleman should be spoken to. I think he has been spoken to. I think the comments he made were quite reckless, and I think they were not the comments were not seasoned. Given that he is a mayor, he ought to have known that he is not going to be mayor over his children. He's going to actually serve. And sometimes service requires you to do some very, harsh things. But he needs to know, or maybe he needed to know, that he had to, first of all, lay out his plan, talk to the people, see what their problems are, and see what he can do to assist. Saying that you lash people, saying you slaughter animals and do all of those, I don't think are appropriate. The laws are clear about what to do to stray animals when you catch them, when you get them. What to do to persons who flout the bylaws, hawkers, etc. Nowhere in the law do we see you lashing the people, etc. And these are, human dignity things. How are you going to lash them? Are you going to get police, or he said my boys? So he'll get his boys to arrest them, as if the people will just be quiet and they'll arrest them and take them wherever they want to take them. And then, start lashing them.
Well, I think it will be like the Abaye. I don't know whether you
but
guys
the
remember
Abaye people.
So the Abaye, when they get there, you are still sitting there.
Okay, so they'll just lash. That's the kind of thing he's
to get
talking
them
about.
to leave and then seize their
you
wares.
see, the problem with that is that approach first few days it may work.
Yeah.
But when you want to continue and the people see your resolve to continue, they'll begin to resist you. And now you don't want a situation where your so-called boys will now be in open fight with hawkers. A lot of these people don't have anything to lose. They will fight. You are trying to deny them of their daily bread. They will fight it. And they don't see themselves as children for you to be lashing them that way. So they will fight it. Mind you, Kumasi is a very difficult place politically for his party, the party that put him there. And I'm not sure he will want to do things to worsen the fortunes of his party in that area as well. I think it was a speech that was not seasoned enough. I think he has a good plan. Maybe he wants to rid the place of filth of hawkers and of stray animals, etc. But he needs to look at his approach again. Okay. The approach is wrong. The approach is despicable. No mayor in 21st century world should be talking about this, or things like this, and wanting to employ the approaches he wants to use. However, I mean, the little good thing about this is that it has heightened awareness that this guy perhaps is a no-nonsense guy. So when he gets you, he will deal with you. So maybe for the first few days or weeks, it will heighten awareness. And if he is smart, he should take advantage of that awareness and do things better. He should engage the traders. He should engage the hawkers. He should engage the people and see how he can help them.
Engage them now, and they've agreed that they will leave the place. So he's not going to use that means anyway.
So,
that's,
I mean,
after the backlash.
What was the point? Unless, of course, it was a strategy to get the attention of the people. Yeah. If it was a strategy to get the attention of the people, then perhaps it worked. But if it was not a strategy, but he actually meant what he said, then I think he has a problem. Okay. He may have engaged the hawkers, but I don't think he would ever dare to have done that. He would have lost his job the following day. Okay.
Let me bring in Sames. He has experienced for a long time, based on his background, this difficulty in trying to clear hawkers, whether Accra, whether Kumasi and all that. And we've seen countless, personalities, whether mayors, whether authorities, trying to do this, and it's been difficult for them to do it. In the case of this gentleman, I mean, trying to use this way initially, what else could he have done? And do you find, I mean...
You mean apart from...
Apart from the beating that, he came up with.
But you look at the man standing there, can he beat anybody?
Well, he said you use his voice.
I mean, that's a reckless statement. But I mean, we've said enough about this, and by now he would know that he didn't speak well. And maybe, I can say... We've said all we have to say about it, except that I was expecting him to apologize, and so we all move on. But I can't figure out his own realities about leadership. And then he talks about that, but I know my people. Which people do you know? You just made a mayor and say you know your people. Which people? They are not your association that you head. You have been appointed as mayor to run the affairs of the city of Kumasi. And you see, Kumasi's leadership is multi-layered. Okay? And then in his reference, he talks about, I've been around and I remember the times of Nana Kwesi Agyeman. Nana Kwesi Agyeman never promised people that he'll come and beat anybody. He never promised anybody that he'll beat you. I mean, he was a strong leader. Okay? It's, as to say, Buga leader. And we all knew that. And at which point, you, Ofori Agyeman, you were a kid in Kumasi. Maybe you saw pictures of
the stories that he was told.
And then later, much later, he's a media guy. I mean, much later, you made an MC in Obuasi, and then you come to Kumasi, which by all standards is a bigger platform for you to, and an opportunity for you to show your leadership and climb up the ladder. You make your first goof, and then you defend it. And I heard him on Eyewitness News with Umar Osandai, and he was trying to be very smart unnecessarily. You know, I thought that was a good opportunity for him to, if you like, retract and find another way of expressing his frustration at the recalcitrance of those that occupy the pavements, you know. You know, that statement can in no way be justified by what they refer to as the stubbornness of the people. You know, the people are stubborn, they are stubborn. In any case, if you choose to go violent, they can respond with violence.
Measure, yeah.
And he also stated in the most, I don't know the word to use, in the most irresponsible way for somebody who wants to be a leader, that as for me, I don't believe in police. As for me, I don't believe in police, and I'll use my own way. That is for me. That is a statement that I have a problem with. As for I'll beat you, it's just I can see it as a threat. But when you say somebody who has been appointed by the president of the land as a mayor of Kumasi, you come openly and state that I don't believe in the police because the police doesn't work for me. I have my own method. The police is established by law. You have been appointed as an extension of the law. And then you come and deflate the structure of the police, and you are still walking about. I mean, this person should have lost his job the day he said that he doesn't believe in police. He doesn't want to. So why is the police actually giving you guarding? The law that establishes the police, you want to upstage the whole thing by declaring yourself a couple in Kumasi. If he continues like that, he will not even last even in the NDC. Even look, for every organization, for every society, you that are down there climbing up, the leader becomes an epitome of what you desire to be. Look at your statement, Ofori Agyeman. You listen to yourself. Does it sound like John Mahama? Oh.
I think that the comment about the police, yes, I think that's sad because he leads the regional security, the Metropolitan Security Council, and the police are a very key part of that group. And you need the police everywhere. So if you say you don't believe in the police, you use your own methods or you use your voice. I think it's very unfortunate. And
should he be sacked for this?
Oh, I think he should be reprimanded. And I think he has been spoken to. He should be reprimanded and he should be told that if he does any of these things, the next time he will see the door. I think he should properly apologize. I don't know when he's going to see Otunfo, because surely he has to go see Otunfo. I don't know how that meeting will be, but I hope Otunfo speaks his mind to him, maybe in camera or whatever. But surely I think some point should be made to him. It does not reflect the leader who appointed you or nominated you for the position. I don't think it reflects in any way what we stand for as a people. It's in contravention. It does not it does not reflect in any way our laws or what we stand for as a people. So he should be spoken to, and if he repeats any such thing, I think he should be shown the door.
Okay, we'll move to the next one. The Chief Justice has been in the news for about 2-3 weeks now. There's a new research conducted by Global Info Analytics. They say that from that research, it appears majority of Ghanaians want the Chief Justice out. I'll quickly read that story. This is coming from Channel 1 News. It says a poll by Global Info Analytics has shown that majority of Ghanaians support the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. The survey conducted between April 7 and April 16 of this year sampled over 2,000 voters across all the 16 regions of Ghana. The findings show that 52% of voters support Chief Justice's removal, while 20% oppose it. Additionally, 80% of the respondents were neutral and 10% expressed no opinion. When those who opposed were neutral or had no opinion were asked if they would support the removal if evidence of legal misconduct emerged, 30% indicated they would support it, while 35% remained opposed, 19 stayed neutral, and 16 had no opinion. Now, let's look at the regional reactions. In the Greater Accra region, for example, we are told 58% of respondents supported her removal, compared to 16% who opposed it. In the Central region, Samense's home region, 51% supported the move, while 16% opposed it. In Ahafo and Upper East regions, there were no exceptions where support for removal was not the majority view. Now, when you look at the educational background of the respondents, among respondents with junior high school education, 57% supported the removal, compared to 17 who were opposed to it. For those in senior high school education, 50% supported the move, while 21% opposed it. Now, among tertiary educated respondents, 54% supported the removal and 18% opposed it. Even among those without formal education, 37% supported the removal, while 30% opposed it. So it looks like the majority of Ghanaians, according to this research, want the Chief Justice out. I'll start with you. You are in that fraternity in terms of the background legally. Your thoughts on this research, where Ghanaians are saying she should go?
Well, I don't know, but that's research, or that's some polls done by Musa Dankwa. Well, it's interesting because 52% of the people saying she should be removed. I think we need to understand how the process works. The law, the Constitution 146 says that you want to remove the CJ. There should be a petition. President forces to the Council of State. Council of State, in consultation with the President, will see if there is establishment of a prima facie case. After which, if there is establishment of the case, a committee will be formed. And around that time, the President may decide to suspend the CJ, and while the committee looks at it, the President may also decide not to suspend the CJ. The committee will then sit and hear the matter properly, invite her, she could be heard on her own or with the lawyers, and then make a determination. So the Constitution is clear about the process. I think the process has just started. Perhaps we've not been here before in terms of a Chief Justice, and the process appears like it's going to its conclusion, or it will travel to its logical conclusion. We've not been here before. But like I've always said, yes, let's follow the law. If there is an issue, let's deal with it. Let's follow the law. Let's be fair to her. Let's be fair to her. Let's give her every facility she needs to put across a case. Let's not go to the table with prejudiced mind. Let's be fair to her. I'm also confident in the fact that there are certain key people on the Council of State who will help the President come to this determination. Chief Justice Sophia Kufu is there. She's Chief Justice. She's done this before. She did it in Charlotte Osei's time. So she understands very much so beyond her sitting as the longest Supreme Court Justice of our jurisdiction. She knows, she has determined a prima facie case against persons in that category before. So she shouldn't be new to that. Vada Kotobanfo, former Supreme Court judge, is there. Dua Jaho, Betimon, and all those people understand the process. So I only pray that they are fair to her. We don't know the allegations. What are the allegations? We don't know the allegations because 1468 also says that the process should be held in camera. So the process being held in camera means that right from the beginning, which is the petition, to the end, until forever, it should remain. It should remain a secret, or it should be in camera. It's for good reason. If you don't want to bring that out now, and later it is established that there's nothing in there, you'd have damaged the person, you'd have damaged the institution, which is key. So yes, the poll results, or the polls, quite interesting. 52% of the people saying she should go. Is that not generally about the percentage that voted for John Mahama? I don't know whether that's in line or in sync with the agenda to reset, and whether the reset, or that matter falls under the reset. I don't know. But it's interesting to see that figure. And given that, so is it that, because we don't know what the allegations are, for us to make some judgments? Yes. Go. So what is it? Is it because of what people have said, or the way she has conducted herself? I don't know. But it is quite an interesting research, and I would have loved to understand why the people think she should go, or what they think she has done, because we do not know the reasons. So is it that you don't just like the person, so the person must go, or in your own estimation, the person has done some things which may not even have been contained in the petition that you want her to go, or it's just following the bandwagon that, okay, this person was not good to us, so maybe because we are in now, we have to
get rid of her.
We have to get rid of her. I don't know, but I just say that let's be fair to her, because the precedent we will set will go a long way to affect us. Am I saying she should stay? I'm not saying that. Am I saying she should go? I'm not saying that. The law must work. Let's trust the people there to do a good job. The committee will be set. She will have her day with the committee. Let's just be fair to her, so that tomorrow we will not say that, we upon hindsight, we could have done it better. Okay.
So, were you surprised 52% wanting the Chief Justice to go without, whatever reason?
That's it. You see, that's a very deceptive error by the captioning of the so-called survey. Very highly deceptive. And this is in our practice what we call agenda setting, which whoever did the survey is just setting an agenda to make the Chief Justice unpopular. Go back and check. So it's like asking people, if I catch somebody red-handed stealing my water, does that make the person a thief? What will people say?
It's a thief.
If you say that, if I catch somebody red-handed taking my water away or stealing my water, does it make the person a thief? Everybody will say that, yes. Go back and check the question. It says that if they establish a legal basis,
go.
But who will say no if they establish that she has done A, B, C, and it's wrong? You understand? Yeah. Is that a question to ask? That if they establish, you should, if I read that portion again, you read it. If it is established that indeed legally she has done A, B, C, which is wrong, which is against. I mean, even somebody who has no idea of the issues, and frankly, 99.9% of the citizens don't even know what the issues are about. So if you go say, I am a researcher, and the topic for my research is that the Chief Justice if they find out that legally he has flouted or he's gone wrong, do you agree that should be sacked? And then people say, oh yeah, if it is established, then we agree. They go and write a report that says that people want the Chief Justice to go.
Wow.
That is an unruly behavior from a researcher. And they have to be embarrassed. I mean, I don't know why people are going on and on. 52% want her to go. It's not true. From the report itself, the questionnaire, the methodology, and the approach to crafting the questions, you ask the question that if, and there's a condition there. if it is established, no, I want you to read
Whereas
that.
when those who opposed were neutral, had no opinion, were asked if they would support the removal if evidence of legal misconduct
That's the
emerged,
point I'm making.
30% indicates, of course, I support it.
If evidence is established,
Yeah.
that, yeah, and that's one, it makes sense. But you see, the captioning of the report makes it look like the average Ghanaian on the street, even without knowing the elements
issues, yeah.
of the issues, have come and they are demanding the Chief Justice. They don't vote for them. They don't. It's not like we want to vote for president that you go and do survey. And, look, these people, they should grow and stop this disturbing. Oh, if like Salom has said, let the law take its course. If it is determined that ABC and it's a basis for her removal, so be it.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. But you run and go and do survey where then, Charlie.
All right, gentlemen, we have to take a quick break. This is still what the papers are saying. I'm Vivian Lokko here with Samuel Tamensa as well as Salam Adunu. We're looking at the big stories for the week. When we come back, we'll look at the Bawku issue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together. This April, 97.3 City FM invites you to join us for a powerful journey of faith, reflection, and connection in our seasons of prayer. As we step into this season of renewal, we bring you a month-long special encounter that will uplift your spirit and strengthen your soul. Whether you're seeking peace, guidance, or simply a deeper connection in faith, this is the perfect opportunity to come together in prayer and find inspiration in the midst of daily life issues. It's time to reflect, refuel, and reconnect. So, mark your calendars, gather your loved ones, and be part of something truly reviving. Seasons of Prayer is on 97.3 City FM this April. Stay tuned and let's pray together for brighter days ahead. It's from the 1st to the 30th of April 2025. Tune in to Midnight Cry from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. This is your day from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and Prayer Encounter from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Call 0244-981112 for more information. Let the power of prayer guide you this season. Seasons of Prayer is powered by 97.3 City FM.
Let's get into the world of sports like never before.
You know how we do it on Fridays.
Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. on 97.3 City FM for Sports Panorama, your ultimate destination for all things sports.
One of the biggest scandals in this country's history. You can't spend 250 million USD and come out with that.
From the thrill of association football to the excitement of basketball, tennis, athletics, and even emerging sports, we cover it all. Whether it's the Premier League or the latest NBA showdown, we bring you the stories behind the stars.
Getting an opportunity to become a national team coach, you should understand the politics around football.
And don't miss the prayer of the rabbi.
Joe was Zebaut.
How Zebaut there?
Zebaut won Chaboke Walako.
We're not just about the games, we're about the community.
If you are going to be given this kind of treatment, then you need to be that guy. When I look at him play, he is not it.
Or when it's time for Don't Call Me. Join the conversation as we connect with fans across the country and beyond. Want the latest updates? Send us your thoughts and we'll feature your comments live on air. And remember, we like to hear your predictions for matches and your thoughts in general. Think you know who's going to win? Let us know.
Big shout outs to my YouTube people.
Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m. only on 97.3 City FM. Sports Panorama, where sports come alive.
Minke man bi moni nyo Kofi Adam no mai kami. Matwale. Man ke la ke no ya ne. Meneke. Fe won sha ko ba club fe ke DJ. Ni wo hin aka wo she. Ye Yesu gba mi. Amen.
Sports Panorama, your weekly sports fix. Don't miss out on the action. Sports Panorama. Catch the excitement every Friday.
So welcome back to What the Papers Are Saying. I am Vivian Lokko in the studio. We have Selma Donu as well as Samuel Atamensa. We're looking at some of the big stories for the week. We'll take you to Bawku. The IGP has been making some statements, trying to get the people of Bawku to consider peace and also offering them a number of things which has left quite a number of people talking. Let's hear what he said.
To lay down your arms, have confidence in us, so that together we'll work and then we'll bring peace to this area. We assure you that when it comes to recruitment, we'll give the people of Bawku priority.
So that's IGP speaking there, talking about making some priorities for the youth of Bawku in terms of recruitment. He's come out to say that he didn't mean it that way and explain that that's not what he wants to put across. But let me start with you, Salam, once again, on his initial comments and him coming back to say, it's not how you heard me saying it. I meant it in another way.
Well, so I can empathize with the difficulty he has. That was quite a difficult area. And when we heard that he was going there with his team of investigators, a lot of people, I mean, it was nice. And so he tried to speak to the people to lay down their tools and more or less apologizing to them for excesses that may have occurred in the discharge of their duty as police and all of that. Because we know sometimes the police, overdoes its work and things happen. And I think even in this, there was some confrontation between the police and the other people, which led to the death of one person or something. So the people clearly were not happy with the police. So it was important that he assumed a certain posture to speak to them. And of course, and what has generated the controversy is his so-called promise that if they lay down their tools, he will give them priority into recruitment to the police. I think that I won't want to attach so much seriousness to that comment because we know how these things work. You will not be recruited to the police service merely because you are from Bawku. So I think, and in conflict resolution, there are so many things you throw out to the people, and if that will make the people simmer down or tone down, then fine. So I think in his mind, that was the kind of thing he was trying to do. We know how hardworking you are. We know how this you are. We know how that you are. And the people of Bawku will give you priority. If you lay down your tools or your weapons, we will give you priority into the police. We will recruit you people into the police, etc. So I won't want to lash in too much on that. I've heard comments that, so does it mean that people in other areas to wanting to be recruited to the police service will start a similar thing and IGP will go there and recruit them. The man hasn't recruited it and he's come back to clarify that it doesn't mean that they will not go by their standard operating procedures, and all of that. you know, and that they will go through due process. I think we should cut him some slack. It's not everything we jump on, because it's not as if he's supporting one faction against the other. He's trying to make a general appeal to get the people to not to fight, and it's been an issue for all of us. The Bawku conundrum. I don't know how else we'll do it. Asantini may try, but we pray that it works. But they themselves must make the determination that we are tired of fighting. The thing we are fighting over, I mean, may not be worth our lives. Let's lay down our tools and let Bawku get back to, or come back to, or return to its days of glory. When that happens, there'll be development there. Was it last year that Mahama Yaraga, MP for the area, told us that monthly the military spends over 6 million, you know, on operations there? Yeah. That's a lot of money. Yeah. A lot of money just going into peacekeeping. Imagine multiplying that by 12 and see how much that would be to be invested in, just even if a third of that is invested in Bawku for the years they have been fighting. That's a lot of money. So they should think around all of those things and see what the conflict is bringing to them, you know, and see what, on the other hand, they would have benefited without the conflict, and lay down their tools and weapons and have some peace. Because of this conflict, a lot of professionals cannot go into the area. Because if you want to transfer me to the area, I'll be concerned. Yeah. You know, I would not want to live in a place where every day there are bullets flying, you know, left, right, center, burning people's houses, etc. I don't know when a stray bullet will hit me. And mind you, the guys shooting are not like professional, you know, shooters or police or military people. They are random people who have learned how to shoot. So anything could happen, and you come and burn my house. It is not proper. We need to condemn it, but we need to call on them to give peace a chance. I mean, it's important. Young people, instead of channeling their energies into productive areas, they are rather concerned about how to fight their colleagues, and it's not proper. We call on them to lay down their weapons and do the right thing. IGP, I think he was trying to make a pitch. Maybe his choice of words were not the best, but let's look at the motive behind the statement he made. So basically, that's what I think.
Let me bring comments on his thoughts about the statement from the IGP and how we deal with this Bawku issue moving forward.
I like it when Salam said, let's look at the motive. How do you see the motive? you can't see the motive. I mean, the IGP goofed. He just goofed, and you know, he tried to repair the thing. The repair steps some way. I just think he spoke ahead of himself. I mean, he could have still done whatever he wanted to do if he wanted to, you know, recruit people. As in, what was the proper word to use when after the war? How to you know, getting them back into society, you know, reintegrating them into. Yeah, I mean, it's a normal thing. The only problem is that you don't talk like that in a political setting, you know, especially at the time he did. But you know, the IGP himself doesn't have a track record of talking by heart. So let's forgive him and let's move on with our lives. As Salom said, the most important thing is restoring peace in Bawku, Ghana. Let me say Bawku, Ghana. Bawku is not outside of Ghana, it's in Ghana. If there's fire in Bawku, it means there's fire in Ghana. And so it should be in our interest as a people that will see peace restored. And the Otum Force Committee will wish them all the best. But IGP, don't say things like that, you know, because they are Otum Force people, they are going there. If they call you there, don't go and say another thing there. Otherwise, you spoil the whole work. So IGP, just budget there and let's do the work.
Okay, gentlemen, let's move to tariff hikes. I'll read a quick one. This is coming from the finance minister, his reaction to the tariff hikes as announced by the PURC, and he has clarified that the recent utility tariff increases announced by the PURC are part of Ghana's ongoing obligations under its program with the IMF. It follows PURC's announcement of a 14.75% increase in electricity tariffs and a 4.02% rise in water charges effective May 3rd of this year. Now, Dr. Atuforson explained that the adjustments were necessary to unlock the next tranche of $370 million from the IMF. Now, quote, he says, "We have begun the implementation, which you recently saw, the quarterly adjustments by PURC, which was supposed to have been done last year, but we have ensured that it has been done in line with the statutory benchmark as agreed in the third review." Nobody likes tariff hikes, right? But this is what has happened, and we're told it's all part of the IMF conditionality.
IMF conditionalities. It's interesting the way he put it, that the adjustment was necessary to unlock the next tranche of the IMF money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what happens when you hand over your country to people to run. But I think the energy sector, like we've said many times, must be looked at. You know, again, tariff adjustments. I mean, recently we heard about many containers, ECG, many containers of ECG going missing and all of that. I think they should also try and be looking at solving the problem. I mean, solving dealing with the problems of inefficiency in the system. It's not everything that they throw out on the people. You know, salaries were increased by 10%. Now we have tariffs going up by 14% and some 4%.
4.0.
And this will have other cascading effect on other things. You know, it only goes to exacerbate the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. And the best government can be doing is to show that they are committed to dealing with the inefficiencies of the system. You know, about 30% commercial technical losses at ECG is unacceptable. You cannot be running a company with that kind of losses and expect to be doing commercial technical losses and expect to be doing well. We need to really have a holistic look at ECG. The 4% increase in the water, you know, tariffs. Well, that's not as significant as that of the power. So maybe we can live with that. But the power, which is key, I think we should look at ECG again and see how we can help them improve. If there are people who have caused losses to the state, let's face them out, let's deal with them. But it doesn't even sound well that many containers have been stolen or they've gone missing or they've been misplaced. We do not know. And then you've not even finished solving it, and here you are slapping us with, you know, increases. So it's like we pay for your inefficiencies, we pay for your incompetence, maybe. Yeah. It doesn't send a good signal. On the other hand, of course, I can understand the problem in the energy sector. We can't continue, government cannot continue subsidizing. Government needs money to do other things. So this has to be raised. But let the public, carry the public along, let the public see your commitment in dealing with the problem, so that at least we will know that even though we are paying more, we are sure that the problem is being solved. So sometime tomorrow, things will turn out better. They should focus on ECG and turn it around and let it be more profitable than it is today.
Nova, you are going to be paying more for your electricity.
Well, I think that's where we find ourselves as a country. You can't debate it beyond this point, whether it's good, whether it's bad. That's what we have bargained for. A country where we all the magicians that we used to have when we were kids, they've all moved into politics.
Magicians.
So 1,300 containers can get missing from airports, and nobody knows where the containers are, and everybody is going on with their lives normal, and we are happy, and we Charlie, this country, Vivian, I don't know whether we wake up in the morning and then we itemize the problems we want to create for ourselves. And then when we create for ourselves, we drink beer and happy ourselves, and then come and do announcement that we want to solve the problems we have created ourselves. Okay, now 1,300 or so containers missing. And guess what? This one is the one we know. You know, this story is just the one we know. Can you imagine the ones we don't know? And we are not angry enough about this one. I mean, look, we have to increase tariffs, so be it. But I'm only saying that we can increase electricity by 50%. If we can lose 1,300 containers every now and then and be okay with it, then the increment will amount to zero. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Increase the thing by 13%, 20%, whatever, and then 1,300 containers of imported ECG equipment and materials. About 60 to 70% of these imports are materials that can be produced in Ghana. We first of all bypassed all the local manufacturing companies, use our hard-earned dollar to go and import from outside, brought it to the harbor and stole it again, and then sold it back
to ourselves.
To the people again.
Yes. I mean, for any scheme to be able to remove 1,300 containers from the port, that suggests to you that it's been happening incrementally over a long period of time. Because nobody in his right senses will wake up and their first attempt go and take 1,300. You get me? It means that this thing has been, it's been there. And we wake up and we feign surprise that things are not going well in the energy sector. Really? We are our own enemies, we are our own demons. We go and create the problem and then pretend that we want to solve the problem. Look, as for Finance Ministry and Atuforsen, they have to do what they have to do. But guess what? Atuforsen is not the one going to run the electricity company. He is not the one going to run. If they put people there and they will supervise the stealing of 1,300 containers, what can he do? He is not the IGP. He is not. You understand?
He doesn't have jobs to promise the ECG.
But they don't steal.
The ECG. If containers don't get missing, I promise you, you can't do it. So I told, just do what you have to do. But as a country, we should be angry about a thing like this. And I don't see the signs. I don't see the signal that we are angry enough about the missing containers. Maybe it's being done on our blind side as media. But me as a media person, I don't think that as a country we are angry enough. And guess what? 1,300 containers leaving the harbor is not a one-person job. It's a system job, an entire system. And guess what? The same system that supervised that one is the same system that is running the ports now. So a word to the wise.
Okay, we'll do our last story quickly. We just have a few minutes to go. Professor Okwe's report, we're told the MPP has set up a committee to review the constitution as well as that. A quick one. The MPP has formed a 9-member committee to review its constitution following the presentation of a post-mortem report by the Okwe Committee on the party's defeat in the 2024 elections. Now, the decision was taken during an emergency National Executive Committee meeting held on Wednesday, where Professor Michael Okwe, chairman of the 12-member committee, submitted the findings. Now, the committee was tasked to investigate the reasons behind the party's loss of the presidency to the NDC and a significant reduction in its parliamentary seats, losing 50 and its majority in the process. Now, the MPP's General Secretary, who spoke to the press after the submission, disclosed that the newly constituted 9-member committee will focus on revising the party's constitution to address gaps identified in the Okwe report. Salom, I see you are writing a lot. What do you want to say on this?
All right,
more paper.
No, I think it's a step in the right direction. I mean, if you go into a battle and you don't do well, it only makes sense that you sit and think around what might have gone wrong. If there were things you didn't know, you talk to people, collate the views of people and see what it is. Of course, I'm sure a lot of views will come. Some may not make sense, some will make sense. That's why they were a team. We know it, put it together, and then perhaps make recommendations. It's not the first time a thing like this is happening. We saw the Kusibuche report. Yeah. Maybe the implementation of the work of Kusibuche in that report perhaps is what has brought the NDC back to power. I think the MPP must take the step very seriously. They need to do a lot of introspection, think through things, and look at the report properly. I hope the report captures the things that might have gone wrong properly.
Real issues.
The real issues. And I think they should be truthful to themselves. There's a way you can be lying to yourself. It's your own self, but you're lying to yourself. I hope they are truthful to themselves. They hope they try to solve the problems that might have been identified, because it's important that the opposition is strong. If the opposition is formidable, if the opposition is good, it puts government on its toes properly, because before government comes out to say anything, government knows that the opposition is strong. The opposition will find me out if I don't do it well, So the quality of the opposition determines the quality of governance usually. I wish them well. I hope that they are able to do stuff well, put their house in order, and remain a credible alternative to the NDC government, so that the NDC will know that even though they had an overwhelming numbers at the polls, the next guy is ready and well put together. So if I make a mistake, the people of Ghana will sack me and bring those people. Okay. So I think it's a step in the right direction. That's what they have to do, and that's what they have done. We really hope that they go through the process well. If there are constitutional amendments they need to make, they should make them, and let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Well, a step in the right direction. We just hope that they are truthful to the issues that come up and have the boldness to effect the desired changes that can put them back on track. Only that in this part of the world, the problems themselves always try to solve their problems when they are the problem. So,
the problem tries to solve the problem.
When they themselves are the problems. That's what happens in this part of the world. And what I mean by that is, I hope that they know that some of the people who are part of the entire system trying to find a problem, they themselves lead to their problems. If they can look people in their eyes, eyeball to eyeball, and confront the issue, so people will know that you don't. You see, because if you can't confront people who by themselves are problems, then you are wasting your time.
Point, yeah.
And you can't tell me that everything else was problematic except the people, especially the people at the top. And I saw all of them back and forth at the function, giving themselves fans. They have to smoke out the evil ones among them. Those who did things in a bad way that gave the party a bad name. You can't tell me that it is just the constitution that was bad, so let's start by changing the constitution. Yeah, it may have given a platform for some people to misbehave. I get that. But the people who misbehave, they have to be brought to book so that the party can stand strong.
A change in party leadership?
First of all, a change in the way things are done. A change in the way things are done. You understand? That if you are, say, you've been elected, you are in government, you are the president, you are the minister, and you do things, you conduct yourself in a manner that is untoward, the party's constitution should be able to bring you to book. and not to say that I am the one they voted for, so I can do things anyhow. That's what I mean. You get me? I mean, people grow in an arrogant fashion just because they believe that the party that brought them there cannot do anything to them. But the rest is up to them.
Okay, thank you very much, Samuel Tamensa, for your time. Thank you so much, Selam, as well, for your time. And thank you to our viewers for joining us. We'll see you again next time. I am Vivian Kai. Lokko, bye-bye.
Hello, my dear friend. I welcome you especially to Lifeline. One of the things I have appreciated in Scripture is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, 27, 28. It talks about the fact that God created you in His image. That's heaven.